Welcome back to Run of Show. I'm Tanya, your host. Today I'm joined by Chelsia Brodie, founder of iSeeya, a local Pensacola business that's stepping into the community through pop-up events and in-person experiences. In this conversation, we talk about her journey, what inspired her to start building iSeeya, and how she's using pop-ups as a way to connect directly with people in real time. We also get into what it actually takes to bring a brand to life in the community through presence, consistency, and showing up where people already are. Let's get into it. First thing, I want to say thank you for sitting down and talking with me today. I really appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome.
And let's jump right into the questioning.
Okay.
Jump right in. Where are you from? Are you from Pensacola?
So no, I'm actually a military brat. I've been in the Panhandle for about 20 years.
Okay.
We moved here when I was 14. Yeah, 2004. So it's been more than 20 years. But I have lived in Fort Walton for most of my childhood. Graduated from Northwest Florida State College, and then I've had most of my adult experiences in the Panhandle. I was married. I went to Alabama. We separated, came back here. Instead of going all the way back to Fort Walton, I ended up in Pensacola. One, because it's just a great town, much livelier, and there's stuff to do. I was really excited about being here. So I've worked as an optician for about 12 years, and I actually was working at the Walmart on Creighton Road for a long time as the vision center manager there, and people will probably see me in a couple different opticals in the area. So I just decided to strike out on my own, and that's what brought me here.
What originally got you into eyeballs?
I'm blind. I was going to a job interview and my glasses broke. And I was so mortified, and I was, holding on to them and driving at the same time, get to my closest eyeglass place, and I just was like, this is a job? And they're like, yeah, it's a job. I was like, that's awesome. So I went to that interview and then came back and applied for that job, and the rest is history. I fell in love with it. It's fashion, there's physics with light, so there's a scientific feature, there's medical, so it was just like all these things. I was a bartender, I did adult technical training, I did all these things. Right. And this was the one job that kind of compartmentalized everything into one thing.
Right, you found your passion.
Yes, I did, and it was a great first year in optical. I was an elite salesperson. I sold $385,000 in $1 million store. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I bet you they hated to lose you.
They were hurt, but I was like, I'm moving on to bigger and better things. And opticianry, just becoming an optician was definitely the goal. Yeah. From day one, it was definitely the goal.
Oh, good. And you've been doing it for how long now?
12 years. I've been licensed for 6. And I've even apprenticed some people in the area. Yeah? Yeah.
Oh.
So
you really know what you're doing. You can teach people.
I can. My goal is to eventually teach, so no matter where you are, you can get your apprenticeship hours. Living in the Panhandle, we are 8 hours. There's 8 hours between us and the next opticianry college, north and south. So I had to travel 8 hours to get my credits. Right. And I was just like, we are not doing that. Right. We're not doing that. Right. So the need is there. And along with this, I hope to eventually fill that need in the future as well.
Now tell me, what made you make that leap from a secure job with good pay to branching out on your own? I mean, are you all on your own now?
I am.
What made you decide to do that?
So I had a wonderful experience at Vision Expo. Vision Expo is a yearly optical event, and if you're in the industry, you know about it. If you're not, it's just like, what? But Orlando 2026, I went down there, and I had kind of a come to Jesus moment, really. There was a class that I listened to about workplace safety and psychological, wellness. That was a big, I probably should step away from this corporate job. But I also got to see other opticians doing more than just retail work. And that was so exciting because I was like, there's more than just being a retail manager. And there's opticians who they fit contact lenses. There's ones who are mobile. There are ones who serve like third world countries specifically. So they create supply chains so that they can make glasses as affordable as possible, and they can, you know, serve those underserved communities. There are people who make their own frames. There are people who work in movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, opticianry is everywhere.
Oh
and when I just saw that and I was like, I could do this.
Right, yeah.
I could do this.
Yeah.
So a part of being at the trade show was I partnered with some American labs. I found a good frame rep, and I've just been trying to piece it all together. And I'm here because I can finally deliver a product. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
It is.
You know, you talk about there's so many things. That's one of the things I would always tell my girls. You know, when you ask kids what they want to be when they grow up, they're like doctor, lawyer, police officer, you know, which are great things, but there's so much more out there. And I would tell them, watch a movie and watch those credits, because you think, who's involved with the movie? The actors, the producer, you know, and you can list a few, maybe a few more. But if you look at that trailer or all the end credits, there's so many jobs. There are hundreds of people that go into making that movie.
And the styling, I think about costuming when you talk about movies. You know, glasses can tell a story. They age people.
Right.
You know, they make you look funky if you're supposed to be quirky. Everybody knows Harry Potter. Like you say those names.
Glasses.
Yeah, the glasses. Yeah. So this one product that, you know, I medically need because I have to drive. I have to see with my glasses. People have turned into this statement, fashionable piece, and everybody's just enjoying their glasses. I remember, probably not in my day, but back in the day, Coke bottle glasses, BCBGs, they had just like this negative moniker, but now people want to look good and feel good in their glasses. So, yeah.
Well, an accessory like your necklace, your bracelets, your earrings, I mean,
Shoes.
why not? Yeah. I mean, you can get different glasses. I mean, like, tell me a little bit about what you brought here.
So I have partnered with a frame company called Modern Optical, and Modern Optical provides basically an affordable price point for opticians, private opticians as myself, but it also benefits you because it keeps the price down. So what I have here is not my lowest frame line, but kind of in the middle. So these are all ladies' frames in metal and some plastics, very vibrant, colorful styles. What I like about them is that they have these features where like the spring hinge, so it's gonna hold on good, but they also come in expandable sizes. So when men and women struggle with finding temple lengths that are long enough or bridges that kind of fit, sometimes whenever you visit an optical shop, you're stuck with what you got. So my goal was to find the most inclusive brands. So this was my first one, and again, this is my lower tier, and then up here is my premium tier. This is actually a rep in Canada, and they don't custom make, but they have curated styles and that I have access to, and they're really fun.
These are the most fun. Oh my gosh.
And I've always tell people, if you try them on and you're like, not for me, I say they can always be sunglasses. They can always make beautiful sunglasses. So I have worked with these two in companies from the beginning, and I'm proud to say I'm debt free. So I've gotten I've maximized on those deals. You're like, buy so many, get so many free. I was like, okay, let's do it. But also their customer service has been great. Shout out to Richard Scott, my rep, and Charbel. I know you're gonna be watching this. They have been, Charbel spent like 3 hours because he's in Canada, so you know the time match is difficult, but he has been on it about, do you want this color? This is what's selling out. This one, he told me there was one frame, and I was just like, you said this one was sold out. Why? It was so simple. He was like, well, you know, it's for those college students who just want to go out and do this. I was like, oh. I was like, no, that's not what I need. I said, I want something bolder and funkier. And then he supplied that. I've got a new collection coming in the middle of June. I'm really excited about that. But this is what I started with, and these are eye grabbers for sure.
That's so important to work with a company that also has that kind of passion that you have, that knows their product, that knows their consumer, and can work with you to get what you want.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Now tell me honestly, how many pair of glasses do you have?
I have 7.
7?
I have 7.
Is that a lot?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I have 7. Do I wear them all the time? No. I probably stick with 3. But I have this thing about whenever people come to get glasses from me, glasses are not just for wearing outside. You have TV glasses.
Right.
You have glasses that, my gardening glasses, So I have glasses that I specifically wear when I'm watching TV.
Right.
They're old throwaways. They're still designer, BBs, but they're comfortable.
Right.
And they're really big, and I can just, lay back and fall asleep. My boyfriend usually comes and takes them off my face, but I'm like, they're comfortable.
Right.
And then this is one of the frames I got for my birthday last year. I just love the vibrancy and the color. I was just like, these are great.
Yeah.
But yeah, my glasses collection is a problem. It definitely is a problem. There are glasses everywhere.
I'll tell you, I'll probably be right there with you soon, because I used to have great eyes, but now I'm older, and just things start breaking down as you get older. And one thing is my eyes.
Yeah.
People say when you're 40, your eyesight goes, but it didn't happen until I was like 45, but then it went. So now the readers are not helping. So
Yes.
I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I need to suck it up and go get some real glasses.
Perfect. So the condition you're talking about is called presbyopia.
Okay.
It is a muscle atrophy.
Oh.
So basically, your eyes have been working all these years,
Right.
and at 45, they just decided to let's stop this. Let's get some help.
Yeah. They retire before you.
Yes, yes. So when you go to your exam, whoever, choose your favorite optometrist. I can be happy to refer you to some.
Okay.
You're gonna go to your exam, and then it kind of comes after that. You got your option to work with that optometrist office, or you can call on me. I would love to fit you with some glasses.
Okay.
With your prescription, you kind of tell me what you like. I've seen some of the glasses you wear. They're plastic, kind of that tortoise. If you want to stick with that, I have something like that.
I like, because they're kind of universal.
Yeah, something that you can kind of pop on with anything. I completely understand that. If you want something a little bit more interesting, we can definitely curate that for you.
Right, yeah.
So if you're just like, I don't know, I have this brown pair, I have a black pair, let me get a yellow pair.
Right.
I can find those for you.
Like you were saying, I don't think, maybe I'll get into the fashion later on, but practicality, like I've noticed, like the different glasses, even though I use readers, I use the big ones when I'm working on my computer.
Yes.
I use the small ones when I'm out and about and I've got to jot stuff down.
Yes.
And and then even with sunglasses, I like the big ones that cover your whole eye. But
I do too.
if you're wearing a ball cap, you can't wear those. So you need a more. So I mean, there's all kinds of practical different things for glasses.
Yes. I have a large Coach pair that I wear when I'm about town, and then like today I'm actually going to a Blue Wahoos game. I'm excited to see that, but I have a wrap frame, so I can go see that. But the colors of the lenses actually changed too. So for my sunglasses, they're gray, but for my we'll call them my baseball glasses, they're green. So I can see what's going on the field a little bit better.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we could talk about glasses all day long. It's a rabbit hole, especially because, and I can tell you have such a great passion about it. And now we're going to talk a little bit about what you got going coming up. You have some events going on?
I do.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so
real quick, I want to give a big shout out to this week's community supporters: Colleen Chelsia, Andy Intrikin, Tia Smith, Brian Wire, Katie McCarty, and Audrey Preston. It means a lot to have people like you backing what I'm building. If you want to show your support, I've dropped a community supporter link in the description. And while I'm talking about building content consistently, if you're doing anything with video, podcasts, interviews, social content, you already know how much time editing can take. One of the tools that I use to make that easier is Opus Clip. It takes long-form content and turns it into short-form clips that are ready to post. Captions, formatting, everything done for you. It's been a game changer for staying consistent without getting stuck in editing. I've dropped a link for Opus Clip in the description as well. Now, let's get back to our conversation with Chelsia.
Okay, so I have some pop-ups in June. We're going to be at the TNW Flea Market, and I'm basically out there kind of to explain are to show people how much access they can have through my business. So iSeeya Optical Outfitters and Boutique is a mobile optical clinic, and I can basically take your prescription, we build your perfect frame, and then I deliver the glasses to you. So there's no need for you to take off time of work, or like if you just don't want to leave the house, we can do it all there. So you have the option, or I have the option of coming to your home, or we could deliver it to your place of business.
Well, that's the thing. You have several pop-ups coming up. You said the first one's at TW, and that's the whole thing, is to so people can come and ask you questions. So if anybody has questions, they can come. And what date is that again?
So the first one is going to be on the 13th.
Okay.
And then
of June.
Okay. And then I guess the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. Okay. So that's all June. And then TNW was like, we like your plan. There's also going to be a health fair there in July. So I'm planning to be there as well. Okay,
good, good. So people come get some more information about you. Now, have you always been an event person? Because, I mean, now you're having to do these pop-ups and whatnot.
So it's funny. I have got that experience through my corporate job. We were required to host these events. So it was like health fairs and all that stuff. I've literally taken that knowledge, and I'll be honest, I probably didn't do everything by the book then, but my events were memorable. You can go back to several of my workplaces.
Well, I'll tell you, one of my taglines is the best events aren't just attended, they're talked about.
They were always talking about the smoothies. I was the first person to bring smoothies to the events. Yeah, because when you're working as a stocker at Walmart, when do you have a time to get a break, you know? And if you're out in the auto care center, or even if you're out in online grocery, they were always actively like working, and I saw them working. So I was like, what's a quick snack that's easy to drink that won't inhibit them from working? And they're incentivized to come and hear what we have to do. And smoothies, everybody loved those smoothies. So clever. It was really good, and it was one of those, as long as I was there, everybody was like, are we having smoothies? I was just like, yes, we're having smoothies. But I absolutely
that's how you get those stragglers who don't really, they're like, they know they need to talk about it, but they don't want to, but they're like, okay, I'll listen, I'll have it.
And I had a passion for I Care About there was making sure that everybody got what they needed, knew how to use their insurance and all that good stuff. But these pop-ups are basically for me to get out there and for people to know me. You need to know the face behind the name. And I want to explain how this can benefit not only the individual, but businesses, small group homes, all that good stuff.
I'm telling you what, you were so knowledgeable about all these things.
Thank you.
Now tell me, talking about events, now we have our good events, we have our bad events. In the beginning, what kind of struggles might you have had? So you want to stay positive. You're just like, I haven't had any problems.
But
it's all been great.
It's been great.
But we all know that's not true. We all have our moments where we are like, no. Notes for next time, that's what I call it.
Yes. So just recently I had one of those events where you go out and you're trying to make relationships with the community. You're going out, telling people what you do, listening to what they do, the whole thing. So I sat down, the guy was like, hey, new here? I was like, yeah, what do you do? I told him what I do. He said, oh, I'm gonna put you out of business. And I was just like,
and he wasn't joking.
He wasn't joking. Wow. I was just like, what? And then I sat and I listened, and I was like, well, why? I mean, sometimes when you're uncomfortable, it's good to lean in when you're uncomfortable, figure out what's going on. So I had to ask, well, why do you feel that way? And he had an idea that would basically have adjustable eyewear. Depending on what you're focusing on, you can adjust it. And I was like, well,
like binoculars.
Yeah, but it was for like a gaming system or something like that. So I was just like, well, to be fair, I was like, when you have corrective eyewear, you have to see a doctor to get those nuances out the way. And an optician is like a pharmacist, but I can also adjust those prescriptions to certain focal points depending on our conversation and our relationship. And I would say just having the courage to kind of, listen to what they said, but also share what I also believed. That was important. I think there was a lesson in there that I'm going to have to learn multiple times.
Right. Yeah.
I also, at the event, I found it challenging to kind of answer some of the questions that they had. This has been a brainchild since 2020. Okay. I've been thinking about this for years. I've actually was a winner of the Kakua pitch competition.
Oh,
thank you.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I put myself through the work, and I was just like, okay, I'm ready to get out there. And some of the questions they asked, I was like, we didn't talk about this. So I wrote them down. I took them in stride, and I said, well, you know what? In these next couple of weeks, when I decide, because eventually I do want to get up and speak about what I'm doing and what I'm offering, I will be able to answer those questions.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I will get past the naysayers, and I will come prepared.
Right. See,
Yes.
You got to have haters, you know, but because like you said, they do challenge you. Like, so you leaned in instead of shying away. Or
Yes.
like, oh, there's something here.
Yes.
You know, even if it's what not to do.
Yes, yes.
You know, what not to do. So tell me, that experience, what was one of your favorite events that you did?
So I will say that my favorite one. Okay. It has been, I think it's been getting the exposure. Like I said, I'm doing this all on my own, but when I talk to people, the first thing they say is, I've never heard of that. I think you're the first one to do that. Right. And I love that.
Yeah.
Has been.
Tell me about a time when that happened.
So I actually have another bit that I scheduled, Sunshine's Corner. I'm gonna be on there. Okay. And let me tell you how it was a great experience. So I was being curious. Some might say nosy, but I was going down the Village Square. I was just looking at, I was trying to get in contact with the Minority Chamber of Commerce. I'm also, yes, Brian, and I've also attended many of the chamber events, but I was like, I want to see if I can get in touch with them. They were closed. And I was just like, well, I need a dispensing space, so let me go look around. And I looked on the ledger or the map, and I saw some vacancies. Of course, the leasing office there. I was just like, well, let me see what my neighbors will be like.
Right.
So I went upstairs, and Blab TV, their editing crew, was there. And I just kind of peeked in. I was like, oh, that's really nice. And I thought I was going to skirt away, but Doug was like, can I help you? I was just like, well, and I was like, hi, and I introduced myself, I told him what I was doing, and he was just like, I don't think I've ever heard of someone doing that before. And I was like, I really feel like I'm probably the first one to do that. And he was like, I was like, I know it's a thing. South Florida, definitely they have it. Okay. Canada, they definitely have it. Wisconsin. It's just kind of far in between. There's these polarizing
so you're feeling
areas.
a real niche need there.
Yes. So he was like, well, would you like to be on, Sunshine's Corner? I was like, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go poke my head around there.
Right, you should. You definitely should. And they've been very accommodating. Again, I don't work with people who they just don't give good service. Right. So I've had a great experience with you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I've had a great experience with my reps, and I've had great experience with Blab TV. I can give some shout outs.
Yeah. Yes.
Print More, Save More, Jessica. She has been really awesome with my my cards and my postcards that I'm getting out. She's been phenomenal with that. Those are honestly I'll say those are my three. Those are my local ones. Right. I've had really, really good service with. I can't thank you guys enough. I cannot thank you guys enough. Yeah. So.
Okay, so tell me, besides snooping around, what are some of your tips for someone else who wants to start networking? And what?
Do not go even when you don't want to go. I had a day. I think we all have this as entrepreneurs. You feel like you're just moving in just one place. But you're positioning yourself.
Right.
You're positioning yourself. So my focus, my first 60 days was all accounting. I was trying to get up the software I needed to receive money, pay myself. That was very important. My inventory, I was doing that. There was some legal stuff I had to make sure I had down before I got done, and I had to update my license itself in the midst of all this. So I was just like trying to do all these things, but when it came to going to my first event, I would have never met you if I didn't go.
Right.
But I was like tired. I know I probably didn't look it, but I was tired.
No, you look fabulous.
Thanks.
You always look fabulous.
Thank you. I rolled out of bed that day. I was up. I was just like, I gotta go. I had the, first day jitters, just like going to school for the first time. And I was grateful because I was like, man, I would have never met some really awesome people there. I met you, I met Heidi, Neil, I met a lot of people, and those are just the names that stuck with me because we had great interactions.
And those are really great people. I know those people.
Okay, good.
But, you talk about going in nervous. I remember I joined the chamber, over 2 years now, and I've been working it, and I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning either. I was just going until I could figure it out. And I remember going into one day, Andy Intrikins. Have you been to his Vibe? You have to go to his Vibe.
Okay.
But I remember going to the Vibe for the first time, and I had to psych myself up. I'm standing outside the door. I'm like, I can do this in a room full of strangers, right? I can do this. But then when I walked in, I knew half of the room. And immediately, I relaxed. I was like, oh, these are my people, because I had been putting myself out there. I had been going to all these different things and meeting people, one at a time, but it accumulates until now I'm part of this wonderful community, and you're discovering.
Yes. It's actually, when I decided to leave my corporate job and get out, I think that was one of the biggest things that I really liked was I get to match faces to my community. I can see the real impact that we're doing. I can support those in the community. I've really started to gear a lot of my purchases towards smaller businesses. Right. Because I can see who is behind them. Right, I know them,
And then your money stays local.
Yes.
Because you're hiring people in the community and you're giving them your money, and then they can take that money and then use it in the community. So it keeps it here. I forget what the percentages are, but when you spend local, it stays local.
So I even have been able to find a lab locally to help. So I'm very much about that. Right. So we're trying to make that purpose, a core value, if you will.
Good.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
I love it. Okay, give me one more tip. So not snooping around. Just go. What's one more great tip?
I would say my last tip is invest in yourself. The one thing I realized in my first 60 days, I was prepared. I made it as easy as I could for myself. But when I got out into community, started seeing those faces, I realized that people still they still use business cards and all this stuff. And I was just like, well, we're in a digital age, digital cards. But I was kind of like, well, I was kind of missing out because we do the drawings and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and door prizes.
And I was like, I want one. So I went ahead and just rebudgeted it, but I just folded that back into my business, and I was just like, it's okay. I've purchased new equipment. I will have business cards by the time. Yeah, I'll have that. But I've gotten equipment. I've invested in more frames, and I think trusting yourself to do that is a real big part of entrepreneurship. Because I think someone on the outside, one of my bankers actually, she was just like, "You're not making enough money." I was just
you tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm like, but I knew every step of what I was doing brought me to do this. My website group team at Roya is great. They're not local. They were when I found the trade show, but they specialize in opticianry. Okay. So I was just like, thank you so much. But they got me on board. But I find that to be a great investment. And I feel like as an entrepreneur, you really should try to, trust yourself to choose how you're going to spend your dollar, but always know that what you're actually doing is investing in yourself. Right, investing in yourself. I like that.
The thing about business cards, I decided I don't want to give out my business card anymore.
Really?
Because what happens? I'll say I'll give them out strategically.
That's fair. I
Because
agree with that.
I'll tell you this story. I was at this event and I was standing in line for the food, and you're chatting with the people, and the guy behind me, he's just handing out, like their, door prizes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, do you don't know if I need your services? I want your services. You didn't even say who you were before you're like, here's my card.
Oh, that would have been a good one too.
Yeah.
Because you're like you were saying, you're not sure if you need it. Sometimes
Right.
saying no.
Right.
Yeah.
Because and when that's the thing, and he asked me for my card, and I said, well, I don't have any. He said, why? He said, you don't want customers? And I said, and I told him, I said, no, I don't want customers. I want strategic partnerships. That's what I want.
That's smart.
I want strategic partnerships. If you're not someone that I can work with, and that's the other thing, because you can't work with everybody you meet,
This
but
is
you
correct.
can learn about them and keep them in your mind for when you meet someone who might need their services.
Yes.
But that's the other thing. He was so aggressive in the way he was that not only did I not need his services, but now I'm not going to spread the word about you, because that is a reflection on me. If I want to recommend you to someone, that's a reflection of me. And he's not someone that I would.
I definitely understand
based on that energy. I mean, maybe that works in his industry,
right.
to be that way, but that's not me. Not my style.
I've and I say so at the time that we're filming this, I haven't had my first client yet. Have I had the opportunity? Yes.
Right.
But I have not accepted them as a client.
Right.
Because it wasn't the best fit for us, and I could hear it. They expected me to do one thing and all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. There's a cost associated with this, and if you haven't taken like an inventory of your staff and what they need, if you haven't done that preliminary step yet, we can't move forward. So I agree. Sometimes it's not yes. You can't say yes to everything. You can't accept everything. That's very true. Very honest.
You look for those strategic partnerships. And I love that you said that you didn't work with them because you didn't feel it was the right fit, because there are others out there that they're just trying to get whatever they can get, and that's not necessarily the right fit, and it might not be the best job. And like you get it done, but is it the way you want it? Could have, there's all the things tangled up in that.
That impact is important.
So I know I would love to start working with you once I get the nerve up to go to the doctor and he tells me, you're blind. Now you need a sticker on your driver's license. Oh God.
I've had that sticker since I was 12 years old.
Gosh. Oh,
it's fine. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Well, and if you grew up with glasses and that's part of your personality, it's who you are. But for me, I'm like, it's admitting that I'm getting old.
Yeah, I mean, there's a first time for everything. Just consider it as another glorious first. I will say I have met many people in your situation. I'd be happy to assist you with your first pair of glasses. No matter what they are. I won't say the big B word. Nobody likes the bifocal. But there are options. There's so many options, and I think we can definitely make you comfortable in whatever you choose.
Thank you.
Yes.
So tell me, if someone wanted to work with you, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Honestly, by text.
Text.
Yes,
Okay.
I have open availability right now, but you text me.
And what's your number?
Oh, sorry, 850-462-2071.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so you can text me. I'm going to verify that your prescription is up to date, not expired, and then I'll just let me take care of everything else.
Yeah, that starts the process. Fantastic. Now tell me, you say you've been married and you've done all these things, but you look like you're like 23. I swear, you look good, girl.
Thank you.
I'm telling you what.
Thank you. I'll be 36 on
36.
Yeah,
really?
on Saturday,
Oh,
June
you
6th.
36. You look great.
Yes.
Okay, so you've had a little bit of experience in life. So tell me, what words of wisdom would you like to leave our listeners with?
Oh. Oh my gosh. Bet on yourself.
Okay.
Yes, bet on yourself.
I love it.
I know you're quintessential solo, or you said serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, serial entrepreneur.
I have taken big gambles on myself. I remember when I quit a job similar to this. I quit a job to become a bartender, and it was a $500 course. It was my last $500.
Oh.
And I took this weekend class, and then I made that $500 plus more back. And I was just like, that has always been like a core memory for me. And I've been able to do that every single time.
Right.
So when people say, you know, you can't do this, you're not good at this, I go, watch me.
Take it as a challenge.
Yeah,
right,
I do.
yeah.
So always bet on yourself.
Oh, I love it. And that's what I've been doing. Let me tell you what, it's good advice.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining me today. I really
had fun.
appreciate it.
I had so much fun.
I'm so glad. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.